Buddies, concert buddy. I had to fire off a quick video to talk about what I'm sure a lot of you in the vinyl community, or maybe if you're not in the vinyl community, you're hearing this for the first time. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's going to get a little bit more expensive, and not just a little bit, a lot more expensive to buy new records. Coming up, I'll talk all about it and give you my fury about the situation. Cue the lever. I'll be right back. So buddies, I wish I was making a video today that would be full of jokes and laughter and or at least attempted laughter and jokes.
Don't give up your day job.
With me showing some new records I've added to my collection and kumbaya, fun. Well, this is not one of those kind of videos. This is a reaction video to the news that I found out yesterday via video initially from Nick at Toad Hall Books and Records, and then later confirmed in a subsequent video by G.I. Sanders over at NTX Vinyl. Both of those guys own independent record stores in their areas. Nick is like suburban Chicago, G.I. is in like Dallas metro area. Anyway, both of those gentlemen in their video shared the unfortunate news that Universal Music, which is one of the three major labels, Universal, Sony, and Warner, that Universal notified them by email that on over 2,000 titles, there would be a price increase on your next order of those titles.
Shit.
So what that means is, if you go to your local record store today, they're probably not busy in their restickering prices. What it means is, if your record store runs out of a select title, let's just use Beatles Abbey Road as an example here. They run out of Abbey Road, they need to reorder through their means of reordering, usually through a distributor. What once was a MSRP $25 record, surprise, is now a $35 record.
And ka-ching, we're making money.
Kanye West late registration, what was once a $20 record, I'm going to reorder it, is now a $40 MSRP record.
Are you kidding me?
Man, if I could add explosion fireworks coming out of my head right here, I would.
It's crazy talk.
How did we get here? And what does this mean for the hobby and record collecting and purchasing as a whole? Well, let's start with how we got here. Universal, again, one of the three majors, they're setting the price. And unfortunately, when they set MSRP at this, everyone kind of has to adjust their pricing to make sure that they're hitting their profit margins and they have economic viability in their business. And at the end, the folks who unfortunately lower down the totem pole that suffer the brunt of this are end consumers and the shops themselves. The shops themselves are simply reacting to the reaction of the distributors, to the reaction of the mandate from the label. But let's be honest, if you're trying to sell something that was once $20 for a couple weeks later $40, it's going to be tough. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Let me guess, you must be fucking rich.
Yeah, it's cool.
So in terms of how we got here, is this price increase warranted? To an extent, I have to admit, yes. If you're taking a record from $25 to $28, I can understand that. $25 to $30. Tougher pill to swallow, but I still take the medicine. Why is that? Well, one, I'm sure you guys are seeing it in your own necks of the woods, your own lives, at the supermarket, at the gas pump. Inflation is a real thing, and it's a derivative of expenses and a lot of businesses going up, coming out of a lot of the COVID stuff we've been dealing with the last couple of years. The oil and gasoline issues are relative to, unfortunately, the Ukraine conflict that Russia has instigated, and a lot of companies and countries imparting an embargo on Russian oil. But make no mistake, oil, which is one of the key components that makes our nice wax records like this, is controlled by what I would call a cartel called OPEC. And I'm not going to get into a geoeconomic lesson here because you guys are a lot smarter than that and probably smarter than me on the topic. But just know that these prices are controlled, particularly when it comes to petroleum and gas, by a very small group of folks. That doesn't mean that the President of the United States or Congress or United Nations or Parliament over in the UK, they can influence the price on their terms and their jurisdictions with different levers they can pull, but not to the point of turning a $4.50 gallon of gas back down to $3, right? OPEC is capitalizing, in my opinion, on a lot of the Russian situation to drive prices up concurrently with tightening that supply that a lot of folks are doing through embargoes to Russia. So from a pure raw material perspective, that makes sense. The price of manufacturing records and the materials is going up. Makes complete sense.
Always check the facts, then you decide. That's a tip from me, Mr. T.
Outside of inflation, another variable that's relative to this situation is supply has been well short of demand. Demand has been outpacing supply. There's been such a hunger, a fervor for getting records that the industry hasn't been able to keep up. So with that, there's only so many pressing plants, there's so many hours in the day, there's so many materials, there's bottlenecks in the supply chain, there's a lot going on. Totally get it. But all that said, demand has been outpacing supply for a while. And so in some industries, and I've seen this in the areas I've worked at over the years, a company will make a decision to try to stifle that demand. As crazy as that sounds.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that?
You can either respond by building more pressing plants or investing in your businesses, or you can try to curtail that to a more manageable level. And I feel that that's what these labels are trying to do. If they were taking their prices up and being fully transparent and saying we're going to reinvest in our business to make our own pressing plants, because those major labels do not have their own pressing plants. They use the same pressing plants that the small guys do, RTI, the folks in Memphis, you name it. They're all being made in the same places, over in Germany at Palace, you name it. That said, they're not doing that. They're still wanting to be profitable, but they're not investing in their business. They're not investing in efficiencies to make products faster, better, that kind of stuff, right? This, to me, inflation is real. Demand outpacing supply is real. The third variable that they won't want to admit to, but it's very true, is greed. Greed is good, according to Gordon Gekko.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Now, personally, I don't believe greed is good, but that is usually the root of a lot of these decisions. And if you go back to, let's take it back, the record labels used to try to charge $15, $16, almost $20 for a CD 20, 25 years ago, right? Don't even adjust for inflation. Back then, almost $20 a piece. And unfortunately, for them, their plans were thwarted because nobody wanted to pay $20 for a CD. That was the point. That was where the elasticity of their pricing strategy recoiled to where the point where they had to adjust in their profit margins. People don't buy this at 20. They'll buy it at 15. They'll buy it at 12. They'll buy it at 8. So you saw market correction back then. I have a feeling that's going to probably take place here too. I think that the elasticity, the pricing elasticity, the labels are pushing that, and they want to see how far it's going to go. Now, one, they want to make more money. That's why they're doing that. They're going to see that how far can they push that price and still keep just cranking the profits. Another reason, I guarantee it, is that secondhand market. They are probably wanting to recoup some of those sales, because once a record sells at a store or point of purchase, they don't get any more of it. They don't get that direct cut, but that's where their influence stops. A used record, for example, they don't get any of that. So anything through Discogs, eBay, they don't. So I think in their mind, they feel like they're missing out and they should be getting more money. So let's just take the price on the front end with a new vinyl.
But that's cool.
With that said, I think you're going to see a kind of another ripple effect of what's going to happen is that prices on used vinyl, just by just by proxy, they're going to have to go up. If you think about your local stores, sales are probably going to slow because the pricing is going to be up on new vinyl. So they're going to have to course correct in other areas of their business. CDs prices will probably go up. Used vinyl will have to go up because at the end of the day, they have to survive. They have to make their profits too. They have to make their margins. So there's going to be a lot of downstream effects. Now, do I feel that that's going to cripple or crater the music or vinyl industry? No, I don't. But I think it is going to affect two segments. The one is new consumers or new to vinyl or physical media themselves. Those consumers, young people, people who have been primarily streaming the last few years, people getting into the hobby of collecting, it's going to affect them because before, that disposable income could stretch a lot farther. You could get 2 records for $40. Now, if you're only getting 1 record for $40, the appetite to do that over and over again is probably not going to be as large as it would be if you could get more for your money. So I think they're going to risk really alienating new customers and getting new customers to be lifelong customers. That's pretty short-sighted. The second piece is people like me or longtime collectors or people who have already been part of this vinyl ecosystem. We're still going to buy records. I'm not going to fool. I'm not going to try to stomp my foot and say I'm done buying records. Not going to happen. But what's going to happen is any new records that come out with these elevated price points, I'm going to think twice about how many I buy, when I buy them. If there's an artist I've been waiting for their new album to come out and I'm excited and I really enjoyed what I've heard so far, this is probably not going to be a barrier to entry in terms of me buying their new record. I'm going to be honest. What it will be is, hey, I've kind of lukewarm on this other title or something I've never heard before or discovering new music. Add that to my cart, my basket, my pile. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, I'll simply, instead of paying another $30 for that companion or that secondary or second record, I'll probably just buck it up and take the one I wanted from the jump. Even if, like a lot of retailers will have spend over 50, get free shipping, spend over whatever, free shipping. Before, like a lot of you, I'm sure you incorporate buying another record, you push it over that point, and you know it's better than paying $5 in shipping. You're putting that $5 to that second record. Probably not going to do that because if I'm spending $80 on 2 records when I could spend $45 on just getting my one shipped to me, I got to keep it real. That's what I'm going to do. Plus, if this is not your first time seeing my channel, you'll know my favorite part of collecting records is used, right? Finding used records, gently used records, older records, things that people aren't interested in anymore that are interesting to me. And so that's not going to change. Now, the price will probably go up to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, my focus isn't going to change, and I'm going to still be primarily leaning into buying used records.
You're going to treat yourself.
And the last piece is, what are the lasting effects on the industry? Well, one, if Universal's doing this now, you can bet that Sony and Warner will be right behind them, pushing the bounds of their pricing elasticity until there's recoil from the marketplace. Do I think that this is going to crater the hobby, kill record collecting? No. Do I think it's going to slow it down to a degree? Sure. I mean, right now there's unprecedented momentum and interest and demand in the physical media and records and everything that comes with that, further down the supply chain, from the folks who manufacture, the folks who curate, the folks who engineer, the companies that make the cardboard for the jackets or the paper plants or the mills and the materials. So there's a lot of characters involved and actors involved in how records are made. So I think that there's going to be a ripple effect toward that as well. And that's unfortunate because arguably it's never been a better time to be a record collector with so much enthusiasm in the media and the hobby, and there's just so much going on. And there are good things. I know I rant in previous videos, and I will continue to rant about quality control issues as they are, and obviously I wish the big major labels would open up their own pressing plants to create more capacity to make more records. But the reality is this is a very first world situation. We are very fortunate to be crying and complaining about records and record pricing as opposed to baby formula or gasoline. There's other challenges in our world right now. So I want to be very clear and not lose sight of that while this is a major inconvenience, at the end of the day, it is a luxury or a first world problem. I just look at folks younger than me or older than me or in different economic situations than me who will be stunted in their opportunity to enjoy the hobby like I do. And so that's unfortunate, and I think that's a big short-sighted miss that this decision from Universal is going to make. So, end of rant. What do you guys think? Does this make you want to buy less new records like it does me? Does this make you want to get out of collecting records or only focus on used? Tell me what you think. I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation from all different areas of the vinyl community, from the forums to different comments on YouTube, videos, etc. So I'd be very curious to see what you think from watching my video and the other videos. How's this going to affect your collecting going forward? Until then, friends, until we take another price increase in the pants, I encourage you to listen to the records you have. So if you get the chance, just spin it. I'll see you next time.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
Well, we out of time.